Good morning, guys. It is Thursday night for me, Friday morning for you guys. Here's our devotional. Sharon did a really good video earlier today. Make sure you watch it if you didn't get a chance to watch it with Sister Janet. And that's going to be the first of many. I'll be the first to say that we're going to do the first few on this channel, but eventually we want to make a channel for that because Sister Janet and Sharon, they want to get. I know that they want to have different topics, have other women come on and whatnot, and so just keep in mind that maybe the next few it's going to be on this channel, but eventually it's going to be on its own channel. I'm really excited about it. I thought they did really great. Another thing that I never ever talk about, guys, I don't think I've ever mentioned it once, but you do know that there's a store on this YouTube channel that has mugs, t-shirts, things like that. I can't believe it's been up there for months and I've never even mentioned it. Another thing I never mention, hardly ever, is my book, Lost in the Storm, guys. So if you haven't read this, you can get it on Audible, paperback, or ebook. It's called Lost in a Storm. It's my testimony. And I wrote this, I started it in incarceration, and then I finished it when I got out. And it's called Lost in the Storm, From Prison to the Pulpit. Another thing is I haven't mentioned in a while, and I'm pretty sure most of you know, but I do have a David Rocha YouTube channel. This is our House of Rest channel. I think we're at 10,500 subscribers, and but I wanted to do a David Rocha channel because I didn't want to make this channel seem jumbled up. I wanted this channel for sermons, devotionals, and Bible studies. Sermons, devotionals, Bible studies. And so I decided to start the David Rocha one because I'm going to start painting. I'm going to talk about that right now. Different topics. Sometimes I talk about the books I write. Sometimes just more personal stuff of myself. So if you don't know about that, or if you haven't jumped on that, go check it out. Just type in David Rocha on YouTube and it'll pop up. And if you like that content, please do me a favor and subscribe to that. Because we have a lot of cool stuff on there. I have interviews on there, all kinds of stuff that I didn't want to jumble up this channel because I want to keep this channel with the House of Rest, with sermons, Bible studies, and devotionals. But make sure you check that out. And and if you do like that, please subscribe. Now, about the painting, I started a painting on that channel because eventually what I want to do is paint a painting once a month live on that channel. And that was the plan, that was the goal. And all of a sudden, our life got switched all over the place when we started taking care of Lily. And then we got to take her to school, and it's in Modesto. So we got to leave here every day. And since we're in Modesto, we just work out of the church and then till she gets out of school, and then we get back, and then it gets late. So we are just like our equilibrium was thrown off and just trying to figure out our program. So I have not had a chance to paint. So in case you're wondering, and you are on that channel and you're wondering whatever happened to that painting, I have not touched that painting, guys. I do not want to paint anything unless I'm live streaming it. I think that it'll be great. So for whoever ends up purchasing the original pieces I do, or the limited edition prints, you can always say I saw that artwork being made. So I don't want to paint anymore unless it's live stream, guys. So that is still something I'm still going to begin doing and fit into my regular program. But that's the painting is going to be on David Rocha channel. Things about my book or books are going to be on the David Rocha channel. Interviews I do are going to be on the David Rocha channel. So I think we're at like 940 subscribers, something, 944. I still can't go live on it and on my phone until I hit 1,000 subscribers, but I can go live on it with my laptop. And also, for those of you that are members of this channel, to be a member is you go to our channel and it says join, and it's $9.99 a month, and you can be a member. It's a great way to support just to support this or what we do. You know, our ministry, our personal ministry, Sharon and I, and just being a member is a blessing. It's a blessing to us, guys. I've been putting content out for the last 12 years on YouTube, thousands of videos, and so if you are edified, if you're built up, if you're encouraged, if you learn from this channel and you are able to, please consider supporting and joining and being a member. By being a member, you get videos that are just for members only. You get emojis that are just for members only. You get a little badge next to your name that are just for members only. And I go live, Sharon goes live for members only. And there will not be public on this channel. We talk about cool topics, you know. So anyways, guys, with that, I want to share this verse here. 1 John. Let's see. I know I had it right here. And I forgot where I was at. Sorry. I had the page here. Okay, here it is. 1 John chapter 2, verse 18. There's Sharon. Say hi, babe.
Hi, guys.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read it. I might have hit this verse before, maybe a couple years ago, but nevertheless, you're going to like it. Because no matter what, we could talk about the same verse, and it's always going to be something different, a different angle, a different way to look at it or talk about it or whatnot. Anyways, 1 John chapter 2, verse 18 says this. It says, "Children, it is the last hour. And as you have heard that Antichrist is coming, so now many Antichrists have come. Therefore, we know that it is the last hour. They went out from us, but were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would have continued with us. But they went out, that it might become plain that they are all not of us. But you have been anointed by the Holy One, and you all have knowledge. I write to you not because you do not know the truth, but because you know it, and because no lie is of the truth. Who is the liar but he who denies that Jesus is the Christ? This is the Antichrist, he who denies the Father and the Son. No one who denies the Son has the Father. Whoever confesses the Son has the Father also." Anyways, in this passage here, let's talk about the context first. Obviously, the context, John, we know that John is the one that received the book of Revelation. And in the book of Revelation, he speaks about the 7 letters to the churches, the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, the war in heaven, just a lot of prophetic things. So this is that same John that wrote this. And right here in the context of this, he's letting the believers know. He's like, hey guys, it's the last hour. This is 2,000 years ago. So if it was the last hour 2,000 years ago, then I think it's proper to say we're in the last minute. Because if they were saying the last hour then we're in the last minute now. But he says, it is the last hour, as you have heard that Antichrist is coming. So now many Antichrists have come. So you got to keep in mind that anything that is against Christ, anti is against. there have been many antichrists. There's many antichrists now. Every single atheist is an antichrist. Anything that exalts itself above the Lord is antichrist. There's so many agendas that are antichrist. There's so many ideologies right now that are antichrist. They are wicked and evil. And if they're against Christ, they're anti him and they're antichrist. Then he says, therefore we know that it is the last hour, because there's many people that are against Jesus, against the Christ. The Christ means the anointed one. And then he says they went out from us, but they were not of us. Because at the time when he was writing First John, there was a lot of people that they claimed to be Christian, but when the pressure got put on, they left. And he says there was a lot of people that they were a part of us, but they were never of us. It says they went out from us, but they were not of us, for if they had been of us, they would have continued with us. So it might sound harsh, but you got to remember, this is a harsh time. Christians are being killed for following Christ. And at the time, this is before. Here's something about John. John was not only thrown on the island of Patmos. The island of Patmos was basically just left there, and he that's not the worst of his suffering. He was thrown on the island of Patmos for preaching the gospel. But before that happened, guys, there's historical fact that he was thrown in boiling oil and he lived. So the Apostle John, by the time he wrote the book of Revelation, probably looked hideous. His skin was probably melted. And he suffered. And people that were saying that they were with him left him. And he is stating the fact of saying, if people can leave, they were never a part of us in the first place. And you might say, oh, that sounds harsh. The guy was thrown in boiling oil. He was willing to die for Christ. He was willing to lay his life down for the Lord and the Savior, Jesus Christ. And he, who's willing to die, says, they came out from us, but they were never part of us. Because if they were a part of us, they would have never left. And so they went out from us, but they were not of us, for if they had been of us, they would have continued with us. I've quoted this a few times. I remember hearing an old tape when I was in prison of T.D. Jakes, and I forgot what he was preaching about. And you heard me quote it before, but he said, if somebody can walk away from you, let them walk. They were never a part of your destiny. Because if they're a part of your destiny, they wouldn't have walked away. And so that reminds me here when John is saying that. You all right?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, guys. I dropped my laptop.
Sharon's causing commotions over
I'm
here.
sorry.
So, in the same way, guys, I have had so many people over these. Let me back it up. Let me back it up. I remember Pastor Rob Mayes from Victory Outreach. I had a good conversation. I used to have a lot of dinners with him. And one day, because he knew that I was going to eventually pastor a church. He knew that the calling was there. And one day he goes, let me give you some advice. He said, don't take things personal. He goes, because being a pastor, people are going to come, people are going to go, people are going to betray, people are going to let you down, people are going to hurt you. He goes, if you allow that stuff to get to you, he says, within 5 years, you'll become a very bitter pastor. He goes, you got to let that stuff go. And now I've been in ministry now as a pastor 12 years. A lot of people have came and gone. Some have gone because it had nothing to do with me. They just left the Lord and went back to the world. A small few went on and just, they moved, or maybe they went to a church that better supported them, maybe because, for instance, maybe they had teenagers and at the time we didn't have any youth, or maybe they had children and at that time we didn't really have children's to offer, for different reasons. And I get it, I understand, because that's life. I've also had people leave that I didn't see coming, or I didn't see going. People that broke bread with me, ate with us, joked with us, laughed with us, sometimes cried with us, um, and and then just left. No goodbye, no explanation, no nothing. You know, and then some have even left, and then later on, I find out they have said stuff, and I'm just like, you know very well that what you said, you took that out of context, because you know the true context of what really happened. And so when I read this verse where he's like, you came out from us, but you were never part of us, because if you were a part of us, you would have never left. I've had people that left and they made their way back because they were a part of us. Then maybe for that reason, that season or that chapter of their life or whatever, that just some turmoil was going on or whatnot. But eventually, when things settled, they said, "What am I doing? I need to come back home," because House of Rest was their home. Their home away from home, because obviously the kingdom of heaven is really home. But it just and I'm still going to continue to listen to what Pastor Rob May has told me. He says, or else you're going to become a bitter pastor. But eventually, I got to say, I believe that I pastor fairly. I pastor with grace, with understanding. I preach biblical principle as best as I possibly can. I live a Christian life. I believe my walk is louder than my talk. So if somebody did leave, I come to the conclusion that it's their loss, because there's no way that the Lord is going to draw somebody away, because it's really hard to find a place of worship that truly worships. I am convinced that we're of the few, very few, that preach the word of God with no agenda. I am completely convinced of this. So if somebody can walk off, then I gotta believe that they were never a part of us to begin with. You know. So, anyways, I just want to share that for whatever it means, for whoever it means it to. Uh, if you're watching this and you're one of those people, I'm praying for you because you walked away from a place of truth. And it's going to be really hard for you to find that anywhere else. I'm just being honest. That's not boasting. That's just a fact. In this day and age, when everything is watered down, everything is compromised, everything. Man, I don't know what to say. But for those that, there's so many of you that you have been searching and searching and searching for a place like this. I thank God that we have partnered together. You know, I thank God. All I want to do is raise up leaders that fear God, reverence the Lord, and love his people. And I think that we have something beautiful that's about to happen. And there's going to be a spiritual explosion. And that is a true blessing, guys. You know, so I just wanted to share that with you guys, and hopefully that that speaks to you and ministers to you. And that's about it, guys. Make sure you subscribe. What are you doing? Your hands, I can see your hand in this. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment and check out the David Rocha channel. And if you're not a member, consider becoming a member if you're able to. And we have some cool videos on there. And that's about it. So, all right, guys. God bless you. Thank you so much. And see you on Sunday.